Good evening. It is Carr. It is my pleasure to be with you in this evening. Tonight is a special night. It is a fun night. It is called Halloween. And hopefully you have earlier this evening celebrated it in some way, shape, or form. And perhaps in your neighborhood, you have many children that have come by in costumes doing trick or treating, and you have given them treats. And it is a fun evening to look at the children in their costumes and to perhaps talk to them, especially if you know your neighbor's children, to figure out which ones are your neighbors and to guess perhaps what's in the costumes. The children like that. And so it can be a fun evening. And this is what is All Hallows Eve. That's why it is called Halloween, the eve of what the Hallows Day, which is the day, which is tomorrow, the day in which the church has specified it is All Saints' Day. And what's interesting is they have said the day after tomorrow is All Souls' Day. So they are celebrating all those people who have lived their own lives and have done remarkably well in All Saints' Day, that they have been canonized officially by the church, but they are also those good people who have achieved sainthood, even if it is unrecognized. That supposedly is what All Souls' Day is about. But a saint is a saint, and all souls, many souls, may not be saints. They may forget their purpose for an incarnation. And why do we come in? And perhaps I was going to talk about ghosts because you might find it interesting. Because what is a ghost? It is a soul that is stuck on the earth plane, as opposed to being elevated to the spiritual plane. Usually, there is no problem in people transitioning into the spiritual plane. It does not matter whether you have been extremely holy, extremely good, or very devilish. It really does not matter. You always transition. But some people, for reasons of their own, are very attached to either the place that they lived or the place that they died. And so sometimes they get stuck because they resist moving through the white light into spirit. And those are the ones that you call ghosts. They are the earthbound spirits who have not officially made it through into the spirit world. And so I can only say they are stuck. Now, there are those people who try to work with such individuals to encourage them to go on and go to the spirit world. And they are often very successful at this. But sometimes they are not. And spirits can hang around. And sometimes what has happened is not necessarily the spirit is there, but the event was perhaps so traumatic, or the situation was so difficult that there is an echo that is left in the spot, a small spot which you can sense and sometimes even see the incident as it once happened. And you can know what has happened. And of course, all you need to do for that type of a haunting is to cleanse and bless the area so that the echo can disseminate instead of being held there and causing perhaps unhappiness or fear for those who might be sensing what has happened. And so they might be disturbed and free, not free, but be just affected by the vibration of what once happened in the place. Or many people, most people, can feel such vibrations. So that is the end of my talk for this evening. It was not meant to be anything serious, just to be fun. And I hope that you have some questions for me in this evening so that I can enlighten you or help you in whatever ways that you wish. And so, if you have a question, would you please speak up?
Yes, Rankar, hi, this is Soham.
Yes, Sohan.
Yes. Rankar, so we have some good news to share, and my questions are around that. So we're expecting again. So Charmy is pregnant. So
How
we're expecting to
exciting.
have, yeah, we're expecting to have our second child. The due date is right now it's May 31st next year. So
Wonderful
that's,
time for a child to be born
yes.
in the spring.
Yeah. So I guess well, firstly we wanted your blessings, for a successful pregnancy and birth, and that all goes well. And
Yes.
any guidance you have on that front?
Well, you have already been through it all. You have
Yes.
learned that sometimes you do not have to be resistant to what the doctors say because they may wish to bring about the baby in the same way to help the birth that was done last time.
Right.
And so
Right.
it's more probable that you will have a date set.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's what the doctor here told us as well. So that's fine. I think now we've been through it once, so it's better this time. Any any special care that Charmy should take in taking care of both the baby inside her and Krishna?
Well, Krishna is, of course, she just continues to take care of her as best she can. She has
Yeah.
mothers around her.
Yes.
So both her mothers will not hesitate to give her advice, and their advice probably will be quite sufficient. And if she has any other questions, she can ask the doctor, but she is well acquainted with you do not have to do anything in particular while you are carrying the baby. And for Krishna, why then the there begin to come behavioral problems, not really say problems, but behaviors, uh, advice on how to handle the baby at certain stages. And her mothers will be most competent to give her advice.
Okay. Great. Great. A few more questions. Um, I guess for myself, uh, should the baby will be born May 31st. I was thinking of possibly changing jobs next year. Should I put that on hold? Uh, and the reason I was thinking was with my current company, I guess it's work from home, and I can probably take a good amount of leave. Um, so I might be of more help to
You expect to need more help around the house? Is the baby going to be born in the United States? I believe you will decide to
yes,
come home
yes,
before then. And make
yes,
sure Shormy still has your mother.
yes. Yeah, I think my parents will come back probably in the last trimester to help.
Yes,
So
she will have someone who will be watching Krishna while she takes care of the baby. Everything will be work out just fine.
okay, okay,
Most women have handled more than one child at a time.
okay, great, great. So I think I the if the opportunity in Carlsbad that I was talking about earlier, sorry, my voice is a little hoarse. The uh, the local the semiconductor company in Carlsbad, if that one were to work out, I could go for that, and I would just let the person know that I may need some leave a couple of weeks after the baby's born to make sure I can help a little bit, at least enjoy the baby's birth. And I think they would be willing to accommodate that. Um, yeah.
Oh,
So
I'm sure they would be willing to accommodate your desire.
yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. And I think I guess right now, so we have not been through it. I guess this is our first time. So um, I guess you mentioned that with Charmy and my mother, that will be sufficient to take care of both our children. Okay, okay,
Charmy could do it herself.
yeah, okay, okay. Yeah, I guess just mentally you were thinking, should we hire external help or anything just in addition? But it sounds like both Charmy and my mother, that would be more than enough, to handle the children.
Undoubtedly, but you could always make that decision when you wish.
Right, 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 right. Are there anything else that you would like to um, let us know that you think is important around this topic?
Enjoy your time in India. Enjoy being fairly close to Charmy's parents, and being able to see them regularly, and let them be with Krishna as much as possible, so that
Yes.
you have the nice family time. That is all that you need to do. And you can even keep on looking for jobs. It is always good to stay in touch with such one, and until you find exactly what it is you want.
Okay. Okay.
You do not have to cease that just because Charmy is pregnant.
Okay. Okay. Understood.
So just go forward and live your life fully and have confidence in yourself.
Okay. Excellent. Thank
Are
you.
there other
I think
questions?
Yeah, Rankar is Mahesh.
Hello, Mahesh.
uh, the gap between the two babies is only 6 months, two pregnancies. The gap between the two pregnancies is only 6 months. So will the mother and the baby will be all right so far as the health is concerned?
Oh, Charmy will be just fine, and so will the baby.
Okay.
If that is what you
Tommy
are
will be,
asking, am I correct in understanding you?
yes, yes, yes. He said Tommy will be fine, and so will the baby.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yes. It is perhaps closer than usual, but it will be very nice for the two children to always have one another.
Yes.
Yes. We're so happy. We wanted two children, and you know, it worked out so easily. We didn't really have to try. It just happened. And
Yes, that
it's
is excellent.
yeah.
And now you must watch out that you do not have three children.
Yes. Yeah. We're done with two. Two is okay. Yeah.
But things do happen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Are there any other questions?
Thank you, Makar. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. Enjoy yourself in India.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Are there other questions? Other people who have questions? Would you?
Hi, Radka. This is Diana,
Yes.
and I'm just looking for some guidance for a next step for myself. Um, I'm open to new suggestions and new new ways of service, and just would like any sort of guidance or thoughts that you may have about that.
So you are leaving your last positions, let's put it that way. And you are looking for something else, either to earn money or to simply be of service.
I make enough money. I'm not totally left my other position. I'm semi-retired, but I have more time. So it's more of looking to some of the ways that I have served in the past just seem to be done. And so I'm looking for something more or new.
Yes. One moment, please. I am not sure where you would be most happy in giving service. But I see you working with children. Now, these are not babies. These are perhaps younger children, we will say 7, 8, 9, 10, 11-year-olds. That there seems to be an organization which wants to inspire children. That may be only part of their mission. And you may initially think that it is too Christian, since you are a metaphysician. However, your ability to teach and demonstrate in metaphysics in a fun and subtle way will be a source of inspiration for some of these girls. And it seems to be mostly girls that you are helping. And so it could be young women who have found themselves in difficult circumstances, perhaps having become pregnant while they are still children or teenagers, maybe younger than I thought, or maybe older than I originally thought. It's hard to tell. But I think it seems to be a very practical way of helping young people. And you might look into that. Someplace perhaps like big brothers and big sisters might be able to get you moving in the right direction. It may not be the method for you, but may be able to help you find exactly the right situation for helping these young women. And I think that you would find that rather satisfying, because you will be able to affect them directly. Much of the work that you have done has left you at arm's length from the people you were helping. And so this would enable you to be a little bit closer. And you will find that perhaps more enjoyable than you think, if it is not desirable for you at this time. It is a suggestion. Do you have
Thank
another
you.
question?
Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. Doesn't strike. I'm involved with something called the Evolutionary Collective, and I'd like to know if that's something that for me to get more involved with, teaching like the Enneagram, things like that, more than I see myself actually working.
Then go forward and explore it.
Yeah.
Be more involved. And you see, with decision making, you do not have to make one decision which is going to carry you through for the rest of your life. You have an opportunity to explore many things. So you have an interest in this collective. See what you can do within the collective. How can you give guidance? What is it that you can do? How can you help others? I still see you in a more hands-on situation. In other words, speaking with others, helping others. But I do not see you in a medical situation.
No.
So it's not like you go to a hospital or something. It is however you get involved. But you see, after you have taken one step, or a second step, or a third step, and you decide this is not for you after all, you can disengage yourself and then try something else. Do you understand?
Yes,
You just
thank you.
need the courage to just start, because if this is not your final destination, if it is not for you, you will figure it out. You will not find something that is satisfying, and you will go on looking again. And it may take you 2 or 3 times before you find exactly the thing that works for you. You have much knowledge. There's so many ways you can share it.
Thank you. Just one other question. Just is there anything more that we can do to heal the planet, to heal this decisiveness of people? You know, it just seems
Yes,
very disruptive.
it is most distressing to observe the large amount of hostility that is working at this time. And initiative for yourself is what you need to pursue. You cannot think in terms of healing the planet, because the planet is not broken. It is the people on it who are behaving abominably and abandoning all ethics and critical thought and reacting emotionally. And so you have to take personal action in your own life to go forward and love people. Be kind. Take those actions yourself. I know that you are loving, but you need to express kindness more to other people. You are not actively involved with other people. Yes, you have friends and you know people, but there is still a reserve which keeps you distant. And if you want to heal the planet, you have to start wherever you are and heal your relationship with other people. That does not mean that you have a bad relationship. It just means that there are opportunities all around you to express love and kindness. And you need to take action from that point if you wish to heal the planet. You cannot say the planet is healed. You can send healing out all you wish across the planet. but it is the people that needs healing, that need healing. And so you have to heal those people that you can. Perhaps you can give some free counseling to some individuals. I do not know what will transpire, but it is for you to become more personally involved on an individual basis, a one-to-one basis, in order for you to start to heal the planet. And if more people join you in your action, perhaps you will make a difference that is sustainable. But either way, you will have an influence for the good upon the planet.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Rancor. I
Do
appreciate
you
it.
understand what I mean?
Yes, I think so. Thank you. Thank you.
That is good. And I give you my blessing and wish you well. Are there other questions?
Yeah, I have a question. You know, I always have a question. Real quick, a position just opened up for another company. I don't want to waste my precious, valuable time preparing for it. I was just writing prior to the Zoom meeting about what I do and, you know, accolades and, you know, all that other stuff. But I know there's someone else in the wings that went for it earlier, withdrew because of health concerns and family issues. I'm told that he's going to pursue this position again. I just wanted to first know the viability of me, and is it a good fit? Because I have to travel. The pay doesn't appear to be that much greater than what I'm currently making going across the street, being there for, you know, in 3 minutes. And now I'm getting in a car and I'm having to drive to all these different retail stores representing a company. It's definitely my wheelhouse. It says tech savvy. I wouldn't call myself tech savvy. I'm front facing, customer focused. That's my best thing. Can I motivate the associates as I go in as a representative of this company? Sure, I can do that. Not a problem. But all the other things, you know, and whatnot. So again, I don't want to waste the energy putting forth. And I know I create my reality. I got that part. But, you know, what's your take on all of this? And thank you. I just have a couple of other quick questions. Thank you.
Along with the last person that I was speaking to, you seem to have the view that there is only one step for you, and that taking this step will either waste your time or not be the right one for you. And my suggestion is that you just go for it. You can always say no if you do not like what is coming. If you lose out to someone else, it will only be a valuable experience for you. In some way, shape, or form, it will only help you. So my encouragement to you is, if you are interested, don't look at this as a possible waste of your valuable time. If it seems like it's something you would like to do, then don't let the thought that someone else is also applying for that position intimidate you. You are not the type to be intimidated, but yet you are willing to step back so that someone else can get the position, which then you have to look at, do you really want the position? Since you are willing to step back and allow someone else to apply that you assume will get the position, you just need to think a little bit on whether you would like the job. And if you're not sure, apply for it anyway. If you don't get it, then it is no skin off your nose. And if you do get the offer, well, now you have a dilemma. But then you will have only fed your confidence and your ability in yourself, and you will find out all the details that you need to make a decision. Does it pay you more? How much time is it going to take? Are you going to have to spend more time working in order to make about the same amount of money? And do you really feel like doing that? So it is entirely, it is your decision, no matter how you look at it. And I encourage you to investigate it further, because that does not hurt you in any way and helps you to know yourself better.
Well, I agree with you. I think what happened recently with me getting written up, I know you said that they'll forget it. I hope they forget it, but in a way, I hope they don't forget it, because if I get written up for something stupid and they forgot that, hey, this write up will terminate me, any write up, I hope they say, she's a valuable asset to our company. We really don't want to lose her. Let's just have verbal dialogue. Hey, Rob, blah, blah, blah. And I don't plan to even be in that position. I work very hard every day to stay on top of things. It's not always that easy. We're very, pulled in many directions because the floor is light, and they have very high expectations of us. And I'm not saying I'm not able to meet that expectation. When time permits, I can achieve it. When there's no time and I'm trying to drive sales to keep them happy as well, and the follow through can sometimes get a little thin. So that was my only other thing. It was an escape hatch in a way that I don't have this cloud hanging over my head. Now I guess it's 11 months to go before, and I haven't even had a chance to talk to my boss. She's never the same hours as me. It's been very frustrating. I want to go in and talk to her, the store manager, and say, hey, is there anything you can do? About that. And the other thing was, I didn't get my, I hate to say it, I kind of got spoiled. I was getting incremental raises every 6 months. I didn't get one this time. I was actually surprised. We're not talking big bucks here. We're talking less than $1 each incremental raise, but it was still something. It was still telling me, hey, we appreciate you. You're doing a good job. And I know I'm doing a good job. I know the numbers are there. I know I'm hitting the metrics, but still kind of annoying to me. So any take on that? Is that productive if I were to go in and have a talk with the store manager about the situation? Do you see that she can make any effectual change that will bode, in a better position for me?
I understand your question. I don't believe she will be able to do anything. And there may be a connection to your getting written up and not getting your incremental 6-month raise that you have gotten in the past.
That's what I thought. Yep. I had the same thought.
And
because it was close to the timing of that.
Yes. Yeah. And so that has made you a little bit unhappy with your current job, and that's why you are looking at this other job. So therefore, it is still your decision. I still encourage you to continue to investigate this other job, submit your resume. If they call you in for an interview, why, then you will have time to investigate exactly what they expect, more so than you do just speculating. And so you will be closer to deciding whether you want that job or not.
Mm-hmm. One last question, since Raymond just dropped a bomb on me. I'm definitely not in the camp of multiple vaccinations. Everyone has free will. I've done a lot of research, a lot of studies on this, reputable doctors, surgeon generals, the whole 9 yards. And his age group as a male, as a young adult male, he's 26, so he's starting to fall out of the intense bracket. But he said that in order to go to a convention, he has to get a 4th jab. Any insights on that? I'm worried about his health. Thank you.
Yes, well, there is no reason to worry.
Okay, so he'll be fine?
I'm sure he will be fine.
Okay,
He is not a frail being.
no.
He is hardy, and this will not affect him in any real way.
Okay, good. Glad to hear that.
Since he is
All that
going
for a
to get the injection, whether you say anything or not. So therefore, do not bother speaking.
That's a hard one, but we had our conversation. I got what I had to say out. You know, I've just heard about myocarditis with young adult males and whatnot and other heart issues. So God
Yes.
forbid, I wouldn't want that for him, you know.
No, you wouldn't want that for him, but he is going to get it anyway. So there is no reason for you to speak out, or you have said your piece, and now it is up to him. He is the adult male, and he is responsible for taking care of himself. And so, as his mother, it is time to butt out.
Well, I would like him to get a job.
Well,
Like you said,
can
that's something that you
influence.
encourage me to keep on him, keep on him, keep on him, because
Yes, since he does not, since he is not paying rent, it is time for you perhaps to decide that you need to charge him rent, to give him a little more a little bit more reason to find a job. Although you tell me that he has been working at it fairly diligently, but he is not getting through the interviews to be the selected person. And there must be a reason for that. And so encourage him to look into the way that he speaks and the things that he says to see if he could improve himself. It would be good for him to record his interviews so that he could listen to them later, so that he could, he might not immediately pick up on what he is saying or how he is saying it, which makes him a less desirable candidate than others. For there are many jobs out there, and he should be able to land one that will use his education and his abilities.
well, he just had a second interview in Fairfield. Do you get any sense of that, or can you give me more? Because of him being on the spectrum, he's probably not able to process fully where he's going wrong.
No,
Maybe
he may
you can give
not.
me some
But that is
insights.
why I am suggesting, if it is possible, for him to record this interview. When there is space involved and time involved, looking at something that you have done, you may be able to figure something out. Or you can also offer to listen with him to see if you have anything that you can guide him with. He does listen to you as much as he can.
I've tried to coach him. I have a coworker friend that just got a very high speed job in New York. He's only working for us on the weekend for kicks and giggles. And I've actually asked Anthony to come over here and do a mock interview with Raymond. I'm going to really push it. I'm going to really, when I see Anthony, I'm going to say, look, I'll even pay you. You spend half an hour with my son, just do a mock interview and give him feedback as to what he's doing right, what he's doing wrong, his presentation of himself. I know that in time he'll get it. It's just, my angst. Now, lastly, and I know there's other people, Claire, my daughter in Wilkes-Barre, this is her last year. Is she going to finish in May? And two, is she going to get a job relatively quick? At least the track of the now? Thank you.
This child is much easier than your oldest son. And so with positive thinking, encouraging her to to do her best with kind words and that you know that she can do it, you will probably find that she does graduate, and you will, as for finding a job, it will be easier for her to find a job than it has been for your older child.
Even with the being transgender, I don't know to what extent she'll present herself. She's now wearing more makeup, dressing more in, stereotypical, female clothes by far, than ever before. Speech wise, still working on it, still can't hold the tone long enough, but I didn't know if that was going to impede her or not. Getting a job.
I understand what you are saying, and that is a very difficult one to appraise, simply because it really is going to depend upon the people who are interviewing and their level of tolerance and acceptance.
Yeah.
But if she can demonstrate knowledge and competence and says all the right words, then it will not be a problem.
Good. Glad to hear it. Thank you so much, Ronka, as always.
You're welcome. Are there other questions?
Lou. Last time we were talking about the lives that we can lead, and we can lead it at any time, backwards or forwards in history, so to speak.
Yes.
I was wondering, so we have led other lives, so we could have led other lives and they were different. And I was wondering if it's anything comparable to what they say are parallel universes, where yourself is in another world similar to this one, but you're living in either different time or you already died or whatever. It's you're living you're the same person, but you're living a different life. Is that any connection?
I'm not sure what I believe you have said. You cannot be in two worlds at the same time.
Okay.
You will be in whichever, if there are more universes, and I know I am not saying that there are. However, when we are talking about time, time is not I'm sorry, it's very hard to say. To discuss time, it is extremely difficult, since time is an intangible. When you are in spirit, you are out of time. When you are in an incarnation, you are in time.
Oh.
If you are, time sometimes divides itself. In other words, if there is a decision that is made that affects you in such a way, in a particular way, which is dominant upon you and has an effect upon you, it is possible that it is like there are two competing timelines at the same time. One you may be in, the other one you may not, because of a decision that was made that affected you. In which case, you will not know about the other timeline.
Right.
You will exist within your own.
Mhm.
And so it's like you cannot be in two places at once.
Mhm.
You cannot be in a life in New Jersey, we will say, at the same time be in a life in New York. This does not work. You will be in one place or the other. And so I am not certain. There was something that you said that made me think that you thought I said that it would be possible to be in parallel universes at the same time.
No, I was just wondering if what we had talked about was similar to parallel universes. You know, the fact that you can live this life, but then you can go back to spirit and live a life back in the 1800s or whatever.
Yes, or turn into a caveman.
Right. Yeah. Now, what you were just saying, it sounds like you're going down your path of life, and maybe you come to a fork in the road, and you decide to take one, one path. So you never know that you didn't take the other path.
Right. You're going to take one path, and that's what you're going to experience. The other one is not at that point in time is not for you, since you made the decision. I do not mean
Okay,
to.
so now you're saying at that point in time, it's not for me. So does that mean that at another time you could actually come to that same point and go the other way?
No, it would not come to the same point. It
Oh.
would maybe further down the timeline, you would end up with a similar opportunity. In the case of taking a job, we will say, look at that. In the case of taking a job, you may be thinking about interviewing with a particular company, but you decide, no, you're going to interview with this other company and you're going to apply there, and that's the job that you want. However, at some time in the future, that first job may come again open to you in some way, shape, or form. You may be looking at a new opportunity. Now you are essentially in the same place you were before, except it is at a different time and different things have gone on. Whether you accept the job at point A from company A later on, because there was something there perhaps that was important for you to experience, and so the opportunity would come around again. And temporarily, you would not be on that path. You would be on a different path, but it would intersect back again, and you would have the opportunity to make a change. It's similar to having met someone. You have had more than one significant other, and you may have known someone and been friendly with someone, but the time was not right for you to be together. But at a future time, after you had had a different relationship, it may come back to have that same opportunity with with the individual you did not choose the first time.
Okay.
We can get very, very confused if we wish to talk about time.
Yeah, I believe you. Especially when there isn't any time when you're away from Earth.
Yes. So we will not, it's difficult for me to discuss these things and appear rational.
I understand. It's still very interesting.
Yes, it is very interesting, the interweaving of paths and skills that you hope to bring and manifest within yourself. So that through successive lifetimes, not necessarily in successive time periods, you experience everything that you wish to experience. You are given that opportunity when you choose to come into a particular incarnation, and it is available for you to do so.
Well, can we also choose to not experience certain things?
That is a much more difficult question to answer.
Uh-oh.
Because you cannot choose to say, I am going to have a life in which I will only make right decisions.
Sounds good.
It would be very nice, but it is not possible. Because, as I have said, the timeline is a little bit variable and things change as decisions change. That's why it is not possible for for a medium or a psychic to see and give accurate answers to questions that involve people's lives, such as has already been asked in this evening.
So can we make like simpler decisions, not to like say you don't ever want to climb an ice mountain? I mean, so can you keep choosing lives where you never ever have to climb an ice mountain?
If there is a reason for you to learn something from climbing the ice mountain, it may show up in your life.
I see. Okay. All right, now I get it. Okay.
So you cannot avoid things that you wish to learn. Eventually, if you are going to progress, you will face the fact that you need to learn whatever you need to. You need to deal with this issue that you are avoiding.
Right. Gotcha. This sucks, but I got you. Thank you.
You're most welcome. So, are there any more questions?
Yeah, I got a question.
Okay.
Financially, I keep getting these pop-ups that we should buy gold, that we should take our 401ks out. And I'm sure that Bob has hit you up for this one. But what is the trend regarding, the global financial reset, at least right now in the now? Just what are you perceiving? Thank you.
I'm sorry, what is it you are talking about when you say the global financial reset specifically?
Talking about changing our system, the whole system that we have today. And, I
It will
realize,
not happen.
okay, it will not happen.
No.
What about the fiat dollar, though? It looks like the Chinese and the Russians and whoever else has shifted off of fiat currency. What is that going to do to the American economy and the strength of the American dollar? Thank you.
I am not a financial consultant. I can only say that there will continue to be, as you are aware, there are some manifestations of alternative currencies. And some of these have specific properties which are helpful. And so they may continue and even have a value to them, while others will disappear. There has to be, for the world economy to function, a way of assigning value that is agreed upon by all parties. You have mentioned that the Russians and the Chinese are making perhaps a different currency. If the rest of the world does not accept the currency, it is of no value. See, whatever the exchange is has to be acceptable to both parties in order to work. You are going back to essentially a barter system, if you think of it that way, that what I am offering you and what you will offer me in exchange is acceptable to both of us. We can do it. If it is not acceptable to me, because you have said, well, I no longer honor the dollar, and I say I am only paying in dollars, it will not happen. It simply will not happen, this universal reset that you are talking about, because all countries must agree, and they must agree in a way in which all can see that they prosper. For I will certainly not agree to anything that I think will hurt me, as you will not agree to anything that you think will hurt you. So therefore, there will be no consensus when you have opposing, well, like enemies, each one having one wishing to hurt the other. It will not work. And that is what you just have to understand. And so when it comes to whether you should buy gold, well, decide whether you want to buy gold. There are reasons to buy gold. There are reasons to where it may not be to your advantage to buy gold. And to investigate these reasons, to make your own decision on what is to your best advantage. And so that is all I can say on financial things. So it is growing. The evening is coming to a close fairly soon. Are there any other questions, not financial? All right, it seems like I have answered all your questions for this evening. It is my pleasure to be with you. And so I give you all my blessings. Good night.
Good night, Robin. Thank you.
Hi, I'm back. Well,
Hi.
I hope you all have enjoyed the evening and that you got your questions answered. And just remember, I love you all.
I need to ask you something.
Oh, yes.
You're the one to ask about somebody who's recently passed.
Yes, you can ask me.
Okay, I just wanted to find out how he was doing because he was very difficult and very stubborn. And I'm hoping he made his transition okay. His
Who is
name
this?
is John Butt Savage.
John
Butt Savage.
Buck Savage?
Mm-hmm.
All right, just a moment. I will see if I can find him.
Okay.
Yes, he has made his transition just fine. He was not that belligerent about coming over at all.
Oh, wonderful. Okay.
We are the desirable place to be, you know.
I know, but I told him that, but usually he argues with me, so
You
I
know,
want to make sure he's okay.
when you lose, yes, get rid of that physical body, you get to see the light.
Awesome. Okay.
All right. You're
Thank you
welcome.
so much.
Well, remember, I love you all. I'm saying good night.
Good night.